Coming up on this edition of Carolina Insider, meet the new face of USC's therapy team that has everyone smiling. Also, find out how Richland County is helping kids learn how to read. But first, see how one local elementary school is fighting childhood hunger.
I just love them, and I want to make sure that they have everything they need to have, nutritional-wise.
Carolina Insider starts now. Hello, and welcome to this edition of Carolina Insider. I'm John Romansky. Our top story today, childhood hunger. According to FeedingAmerica.org, more than 13 million children in America struggle with hunger. And as Elena Barilla reports, one school district in the Midlands is working to combat that statistic with free meals for all students.
It's lunchtime at Mill Creek Elementary, and the line is thankfully long. Thankfully, because according to FeedingAmerica.org, 1 in 5 children in South Carolina is going hungry. For the last 13 years, Miss Kit has been ringing up these kids.
Hey, Miss Kit. Hey, Pumpkin. How you feeling? Good.
But since 2015, she hasn't accepted a single dime. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner are free for all students who go to school here.
I just love them, and I want to make sure that they have everything they need to have, nutritional-wise.
A federal program through the U.S. Department of Agriculture pays for students to eat meals at no cost, as long as at least 40% of that student population would be eligible for free meals anyway. Jermaine Shaw is the operations manager for Student Nutrition Services in Richland One schools. He says the free meals provide more than just a full stomach.
That child, that's struggling to grasp a concept in math class or science class, maybe that food, provided the necessary fuel for them to, their brains to function and absorb the information that they need to be successful.
And here's some more food for thought. Since the start of the program at Mill Creek, 200,000 more meals have been served here each year than before the program started. Ms. Kit thinks that's great because sometimes there's more to going to school than reading, writing, and arithmetic.
Have a good day. Yeah, you too, baby.
For Carolina Insider, I'm Elena Barilla.
Paying for lunch is not the only thing parents are worried about. Here in South Carolina, the literacy rate in elementary schools are lower than average. Research shows about half of the state's third graders can't read at grade level. A number of community programs are working to change that. Richland County Public Library events like Family Story Time promote reading from an early age. 11-month-old Claire and her mom Emily come 3 times a week. Parents like Emily hope these events will encourage their kid to love reading.
If they grow up hearing reading and being read to, they're going to pick that up more quickly once they're in school.
Through another program called Cocky's Reading Express, USC students and Cocky visit children in Title IX schools to promote a love for reading before 3rd grade. The program is housed at USC and the South Carolina Center for Children's Books and Literacy. The initiative was started to increase the statewide literacy rate. Through USC's football team is coming to an end, Williams-Brice Stadium will be active this week with the South Carolina State Football Championships. Here with more in today's Soda City Scene is Alan Marcus Harder. Alan Marcus?
Thanks, John. This weekend will conclude the high school football season, culminating with state championships here in Columbia at Williams-Brice Stadium. Saturday kicks off with Myrtle Beach taking on Greer at noon for the 4A title. This game features Luke Doty, a 4-star quarterback and verbal commit to South Carolina for the 2020 class, who looks to lead the Seahawks to a state title after upsetting Hartsville in the semifinals. Next, Dillon will try to continue their reign in the 3A division as they take on Chester for the title. The nightcap will be a marquee matchup of the top 2 teams in the state as Dutch Fork and T.L. Hanna meet for the 5A title. T.L. Hanna and 5-star defensive end Zach Pickens, the top player in the state and 20th in the nation by ESPN, and a verbal commit to the Gamecocks, hope to upset the Silver Foxes, who are outscoring opponents by an average of 50 points per game. For just $12, you can experience high school football at its most competitive level. Back to you in the studio.
In other sports news, USC senior wide receiver Deebo Samuel is a no-go for the upcoming Belk Bowl. He is skipping the game to prepare for the NFL Draft in April. Samuel will finish his Gamecock career in the top 10 in school history for receptions, total touchdowns, and all-purpose yards. As finals week approaches, many students are looking for a break from the books. and USC officials hope their new therapy dog will help students manage the stress. Indy, a 10-month-old white golden retriever, is one of the newest members of the university's stress management team. Today is Indy's last day of the semester here at USC, and you can catch her on her wellness walk around Russell House from 10:30 to 11 or during her office hours from 3:30 to 5. Well, that's it for this edition of Carolina Insider, a student production here in the Kennedy Greenhouse studio in the School of Journalism and Mass Communications. Thank you for joining us, and best wishes with finals.